The number one question I get asked right now when people talk to me is, what are we going to see on the field, Coach Fleck? What are we going to see on college game days? The very popular answers that everyone in the country will say, we're going to be fast, we're going to be physical, we're going to be disciplined, we're going to be smart. Great. But everyone says those. So when we talk about WMU, the W is part of our core values. The M is our mentality. What sets a Western Michigan Bronco apart from everyone else in the country? Our mentality is what sets us apart. How we go about our daily lives, how we think, how we walk, how we talk, how we think, how we act. Our mentality. And the first part of that mentality is a Nekton mentality. The second part of that mentality is a Prefontaine pace. And the last part is a farmer's alliance. And I know it sounds a little bit out there, but it is. A Nekton mentality is this. A Nekton, N-E-K-T-O-N. Navy SEALs call themselves Nektons. A Nekton is an organism that can flow freely through any water current, and the water current will never dictate where they go. So a great white shark, if you can picture a great white shark, the power, the aggression, the predator in it, the never full mentality, always hungry, can breach the water, come up, breach the water, grab a seal in its mouth, continue to breach the water, get 25 feet in the air, get parallel, and smack back down into the water with the seal still in its mouth. That's an enormous amount of force. That's an enormous amount of energy. And a Nekton is never full. If you put 5 million seals on the surface of the water, a great white shark is going to continue to eat it, and eat it, and eat it, and eat it, and never get full. It's not going to sit there and say, it is Thanksgiving Day, lean on, and sit there and go, I need to hibernate. It's going to continue to eat and attack. It's its mentality. It doesn't know any other way but attack. That's what we're going to be on offense, defense, and special teams. The next is a Prefontaine pace. If you remember Prefontaine, great distance runner back in the 70s. It was way before I was born. But the one thing he had, he called himself a suicide pace. And the reason why I call it a suicide pace is because he went out from the opening gun. When that race went off, when it started and that gun went off, he sprinted. Now, it doesn't seem like, as a distance runner, that's very smart because you're told to kind of store your energy and save it for the end. Pace yourself over the course of the race. He never did that. He didn't believe in it. He believed in getting out of the gate as fast as I could. In the middle, I was still running as fast as I could. And at the end, running as fast as I could. Now, that caught up to him a little bit. Sometimes he got passed at the very end. Sometimes he'd be a lap or two ahead and he'd still get passed. But sometimes he'd be a lap or two ahead, and then the next lap, he'd be 4 laps ahead. And the next time, 5 laps ahead. And he'd extend it. But he could always live with himself, win or lose. He could live with himself because he gave everything he could on every single rep, every single race, every single step, every stride. There was nothing else he had when he crossed the tape. And there were some days that was good enough, and there were some days that wasn't good enough. But someday, that good enough will be always good enough. And that's what we're continuing to try to strive for, is a Prefontaine pace in everything we do. We are urgent, we move quickly, we move suddenly in everything we do. Nothing we do as a football program, administratively, athletically, socially, is done at a slow level. It's always done at an urgent level with still being efficient. And that's the Prefontaine pace. The last part is a farmer's alliance. This is where you bring everyone together. Everyone from doing a common goal and a common cause that's greater than themselves and understanding the sacrifice for it. Farmers are the greatest. If you go back to my house in Sugar Grove, you look out my back window, there's a farm. There's a cornfield for miles. But the great thing about that was Farmer Johnson's farm was right behind us. Farmer Bob's was next to him. And Farmer Johnson always took care of his corn. This guy was awesome. He always had the best corn at the Sugar Grove Corn Boil every year. But Father Bob should have got the same credit. Because in farming, when you're growing corn, it really doesn't matter how well you take care of your crop. You still have to grow good corn for it to be good corn. But the crop next to you is even more important than the one you're growing right now because of cross-pollination. Through the winds, the seeds from the corn next to that farm, and farms back up to all one another, can get into your crop. They will get into your crop. Now, when they get into your crop, they're either going to affect it two ways, positively or negatively. That's it. There's two types of people in this world, people that bring you up, people that bring you down. People that are vampires and people that are multipliers. That's it. There's nobody else. There's nobody that keeps you the same. They either bring you up or bring you down. But it's that farmer's job, taking care of their corn, to not only take care of their corn the best they can, but make sure the guy next to them grows better corn than them. Because that way their crop will always be good. It will always be elite. But that's why taking care of the person next to you is more important than even yourself. And when a team figures that out, they've got it. They got it. And they've got it for life. That is our Western Michigan football mentality. And that's what you'll see on College Game Days.